What's going on, bros and girls? Today I'll be doing a full review of this very value-packed UtechSmart Mars Optical Precision Gaming Mouse. As some of my subscribers know, I've already reviewed one of UtechSmart's other mice, their Venus MMO model, which has been getting great reviews all over the net for its high-end features at a low price. This Mars maintains that tradition, having features you'll normally find in much more expensive mice. For those of you guys who are into MMOs, I highly recommend the Venus, and I did do an unboxing and full review videos for that mouse, which I will have links in the description and an annotation at the end of the video to take you directly there. Back to this Mars, this one's more of an all-around mouse for multiple genres of games, and I would say since it's a more simpler design, it's more suited for FPS games. The Mars also costs quite a bit less than Venus. Both are at a very low price point though, and for some of the best pricing and availability, I've included some links for you down below. So if you didn't know my review style by now, since all my reviews are unbiased, I always start with any cons I've found and leave off on a good note with the pros. I only had 2 cons, and at this low price point, it is understandable that UtechSmart had to make these sacrifices to keep this price down. The first con is the DPI adjustment, and though fully adjustable from 500 all the way up to 4000, it's only in 500 increments, i.e. only 500, 1000, 1500, and so on. The Venus has much smaller 50 DPI increments, which allows a lot more control over your settings. The fact that the Mars can't hit smaller increments may increase the learning curve for some people, like myself, who uses the Razer Death Adder a lot at 1800 DPI. Because I can't lock the Mars in at the 1800 DPI setting that I'm accustomed to, I will either have to use 1500 or 2000 and take the time to adjust to this change in sensitivity. The only other con is the use of plastic on the sides where it looks like metal. Personally, I was very excited to finally see what all the fuss was about with these metal frame mice and how well built they were compared to the usual all plastic mice. So you can understand my disappointment when I felt the sides were actually just plastic material coated with metallic looking paint. Like I already said though, since this mouse costs so little compared to other mice, one shouldn't really expect a metal chassis mouse at this low cost, and the plastic still does feel as well built as other plastic mice. And the same as with the DPI increments, you can't really complain about that at this price. Now onto the pros, and the first is the most important thing anyone should look at when buying a gaming mouse, and that is performance. For all the times I've tested this, I didn't notice any tracking issues like skipping or unwanted acceleration or prediction. With lift-off distance / LOD, UtechSmart continues to amaze me using sensors with some of the lowest LODs I've ever seen. This Mars, like the Venus, has an LOD of only 1 CD, which is even lower than the very popular and much more expensive Razer Death Adder and Logitech G502 mice, which gamers love using because of their low LODs. As a comparison, my Logitech G400S stopped tracking at 3 CDs, the Death Adder stops tracking at 2 CDs, and the G502 stops at around 1.5 CDs. I've explained why low LODs are important in all my other mice reviews, so to keep time down I won't explain it again, and you can just see those reviews for the full explanation. But basically, you want the lowest LOD possible. Lastly, concerning performance, I know my Death Adder feet aren't exactly new anymore, but the Mars with its low friction Teflon feet glides much easier than the Death Adder. The next pro is related to performance and its comfort. Because gamers play for so many hours straight, it is especially important for mice to minimize fatigue and keep all parts of your arm at a proper position to maintain good health. Using this mouse for well over 2 weeks, I didn't notice any cramping or discomfort. Like I similarly found with the Venus though, since I am a fingertip gripper, the lower back end of my usual daily driver, the Death Adder, allowed me to pull back the mouse further in without repositioning my wrist. But for the other more common type of claw and palm grips, the high back of this mouse provides a bit more support for your palm to rest on. Third pro is design and aesthetics. Though a full metal finish, looks-wise the paint looks very sharp and makes the Mars look much more expensive than it actually is. Also, the lighting is very flashy, illuminating the mouse through its entire chassis underneath the top surface, so you'll definitely get noticed by all the ladies at the LAN parties you go to. Plus you have a choice of 4 different colors to match whatever color theme you're going for in your system. A lot of the other more popular brands still use only 1 color for their mice. And speaking of the top surface, it's a very grippy, soft touch material that again is usually found in much more expensive products. The last part I want to touch on is software. For a fairly new and small gaming company, their software is pretty intuitive and easy to use. Though not as polished as the big brands, everything is nonetheless there, and the navigation is straightforward. You have easy to set up controls for everything from DPI buttons and macros, to color control like light intensity and pulsing speed, to acceleration toggles, pointer speed, and polling rate. So all in all, despite its few shortcomings, which I'm able to look past for its price, I'm very impressed with this mouse. When I first saw the price, I definitely wasn't expecting much, but was pleasantly surprised when this had pretty much everything much more expensive mice had. It has great performance, good comfort, and decent customizability, and this hardware is supported well with easy-to-use software. So let me know in the comments what you think of this mouse and how it stacks up to the big brands like Logitech, Razer, and even Corsair. Also, I want to know if you guys enjoy these more value-oriented products I'm covering. I'll always cover the high-end products, but were you guys okay with me looking at some budget-conscious offerings as well? Please let me know in the comments, as this channel was made for you, the viewers, and not me. So I hope you guys all enjoyed my full review of the UtechSmart Mars Optical Precision Gaming Mouse. If you did, please thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram and or Twitter. It would be much appreciated. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.